How do you deal with burnout? What is burnout in business?
So this is my favourite topic.
I know,
this
right?
Is my little,
I know. It's why you got the grin on your face, Nick.
And look, I get it. I super get it when we've all had points in our life where maybe we're a little lost, we're a little off track, we're a little we're not on purpose, and I think that's probably as I age and experience. It's been probably the biggest eye opener to be able to understand that when I'm on purpose, the energy source within reason becomes limitless.
And that's the key piece, I think. Definitely what you're tapping into is to tap into your purpose. What's the story behind? What's the why? Why have you started this thing?
Yeah.
And when you lose sight of that, the overwhelm comes in,
Yeah.
and then eventually this burnout feeling pops in. So it's having the skill set to step back, take a breath, be aware that this is the mindset that I'm in, and just tap in again. Why am I doing this? What's the bigger purpose for me?
Yeah.
And the bigger purpose for the business and the bigger purpose for the client?
I think it's an easy trap to fall into, particularly for people that maybe if you're in a job right now and you've maybe started your side hustle, you've started your business in a smaller way, and maybe you're straddling both things, and you're in a role, you're in a job that maybe is not that fulfilling for you. Maybe it's you're not quite seeing how maybe it's upskilling you or it's contributing to you and who you are and your skill set. The burnout trap is pretty easy to fall into. Particularly a lot of people in professional type environments, office type environments, where everybody's
in the grind.
That's it. You're in the grind, and for most people, that's not on purpose. It's not fulfilling.
Yep.
Going into that office becomes an imposition. Now, you're going in for one reason, is to pay a bill. And that's not particularly fulfilling. However, if you can try and one, obviously get yourself into a position that is fulfilling.
Yes.
Or for many, it's just taking the leap. Like, I need to get out of that environment. I know for myself, when again, go back to self-awareness. When I find myself in a position, an environment amongst a group of people, and it's not fulfilling, it's not on purpose, I need to exit out of that quickly. Because, in fact, not because I need to, although I do tell myself I need to, because it's not getting me towards where I want to be. It's not energizing me. It's not fueling
doesn't serve
the tank.
you.
And it's not serving me, which is not serving my greater purpose beyond that. So, either exit out of that, or secondly, is to be able to connect as to, is there something I can get out of this thing that's really wearing me out? Is there something that I can connect, how that is connecting to the
bigger piece?
Is it skills? Am I gaining more skills by being here? Am I practicing more discipline, more patience? Is this enabling me? Is there some other people around where I can look at perhaps the influence that they're having, and I can, even someone that's having poor influence on people? That's a learning. Rather than going in and go, oh, I can't stand being around this particular environment anymore. If you really are stuck in that environment for a period of time till you're able to adjust your life to exit out of that, what can you learn from that? What are those people doing in that environment, whether that's managers, other staff members, how they're interacting with customers? What are the notes that you can take away from that?
What I'm hearing there as well is it's building your capacity to not be reactionary to the environment. It is, if you're in a situation where it doesn't serve you, can you step back from it and go, actually, I don't need to take that on, but what can I learn from that, as you say? It's create somewhat a barrier. Think of it, visualize a bubble around yourself, observe, watch, learn from it, but don't take it on. Don't react to it.
I think take a step back. Do I need to be involved in it? Does that need to weigh as heavy on me as it is? Is it the problem for me that I'm thinking it is right now, or am I actually overreacting to that issue? So, so super important. I mean, health and well-being is the other one. Like, we talked about, how exercise is a critical part for for you and your day, and it certainly is for me. You know, it's how I start every day, and you know, I think it's a great outlet. Always has been. You know, times of stress and business ownership, you know, come and go, and particularly when things become very intense, you know, exercise is a great outlet to be able to press that reset button. I talk about all the time. Press your reset button. You know, for me, go for a run. You know, there's always been a great reset button. Go to the gym, great reset button. Just anything that you can get yourself to some kind of physical exhaustion where you can't think about anything else. You're just thinking about that particular exercise. You know, for most human beings, that is a great way to, I think, de-stress. You're stressing yourself physically, de-stressing yourself,
getting it out
mentally. You know, even down to, you know, your physical condition, how you're eating, what fuel you're putting in. Those things, I think, all are really important.
And I think what I'm hearing there, Nick, is that we've created our rhythms to start our day. And everybody's going to be different as to what works for them. Is it something that they do at the start of the day, the middle of the day, the end of the day, whatever it is, to give you that chance to reset. For me, it's about clearance of mind. Like, I come up with some really cool ideas while I'm walking the dogs or running the dogs, etc., and you know, doing my meditation every morning. It is what I physically notice the difference in how I perform each day when I don't do it. I can feel and sense it completely. So I know this is something I need to do. Even if sometimes, you know, you've got appointments early, well, I'll just go and do a shorter version of it. But I'll still do it.
You've got to do
you know, got to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Hey, for me, you know, got to get up, balances, do the bank balance, exercise, sit down with my diary and a cup of tea. Now, if I don't get those things in each morning at the start of the day, 4:15, you know, I'll miss the cranky pants. Because you know, like, that's the rhythm. That's what I'm going to need to be.
That's what works.
I feel Now, if you know, you don't like that, if that becomes mundane because you're doing the same thing, you've got to find, you know, your rhythm is being out of rhythm. Well, you know, you need to do that. Like, but have it set, whatever it is that works for you. That energizes you at the start of the day. That you feel ahead of it. Like, I know when I get up when it's dark, then I've kind of got the head start on the day.
You've had a little win.
I've got the head start on the day. That I've got my exercise, and sun comes up normally as I'm finishing my exercise at this time of year anyhow. And I feel like, you know, I'm ready
ahead of the
game.
I'm
ready to go. And I just think it's so important. There's just those little wins right at the start of the day. Just to set you up. You know, it's so good for your well-being, right?
It is. I know I'm pretty sure you've seen this. I saw a YouTube video a while ago about a general in the army talking about make the bed. First thing, that is such a great analogy, is that you tick off that task nice and early. And there's a lot of satisfaction to have done my planner day, and I can tick that box to show that. So that's the rhythms that work for me. And of course, everybody's going to be different. And it's the awareness of knowing what works for you to set you up for a successful day. So that's something that you absolutely need to do. I feel that this burnout piece is also impacted by procrastination. Oh, it's not quite perfect yet. Oh, I'm overwhelmed with all the choice I have of all the things that I need to do. This to-do list seems to be growing.
And you're right, it's such a big part of it, is because by nature, we all feel satisfied when we can tick something off the list. Now, if you're not ticking things off the list each and every day, that starts to build up. Yes, the list starts getting bigger. So then you've got to ask, well, why am I taking more on this list than I'm ticking off? You know, so you should always be going through. Again, we go back, hey, what do I do on the diet? When I talk about today's hit list, what are the things that, no matter, come hell or high water, no matter what happens today, these are the things that I need to tick off my list today. That's today's hit list. These are the 3, 4, 5 things when I, you know, finish the day, have my dinner in the evening, that those things are done. And if they're not, maybe 1 or 2 of them need to be done after dinner, but we go to bed, they're done.
They're done.
Or maybe maybe one gets shifted across into the next day, but you've just got to make sure that you're ticking things off the list each and every day. And to do that, you've got to be aware of what those things can be.
Exactly.
What are the wins? Even if they're just some low-hanging fruit. like when I say that, just the easy wins.
Yeah. So I actually split my to-do list into under 10 minutes and over 10 minutes. So the under 10 minutes is, I've got to make a quick phone call, or there's a quick email I need to respond to. And you get the satisfaction of ticking those off, and then you've got the over 10 minutes. That's what works for me, because I'm getting those wins as I go. And there's literally only 3 or 4 ever on either one of those 2 pieces.
Yeah. Most of the stuff's all work in progress, go through, but you've got to make sure that you've got those, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, whatever it is, whatever's relevant to you that are getting done. And sometimes that is just the exercise piece. Sometimes that is just the planning the day piece. That's a win. Take those wins. Just do those at the start of every day, and that makes you feel better in itself. Right?
So one of the other things, to manage your day, so, there's always the ongoing pieces. There's the bigger projects to get done. So I know what works for me is I block out my calendar, that I don't take appointments during those times, that is the time that is the ongoing work in progress piece. For me, that enables me to have those wins. I can tick it off to say, I've done that piece today, and it's building, and it's getting to the, it's all set up for the deadline that's in play, but I'm achieving. And there's that sense of fulfillment in doing that.
Absolutely. So, hey, if you're in burnout mode, I'd really implore you to probably take a look and see why that is. There's a reason, there's something there, because whatever is going, whatever happens in the day, whether you think it's good or it's bad, it's whatever you're thinking it is, right? And so break down, what is it, where is this stemming from? And normally it will be that you're maybe off track, you're not on purpose, or you're not seeing how some of these tasks that you're doing through the day is actually fitting into the bigger picture, and maybe it's growing, enhancing, and there's a learning in some way. You've got to look for that. So, when these things come at you, whether it's a task or a problem, is it contributing to your burnout, or can you start to look at this, hey, this is an opportunity. As this task or problem comes at me, this is an opportunity where I can get better, or I can make someone else's life better, or there's what's the plus out of it? There's always a plus. Everything is whatever emotion that you will apply to it. There's a plus in there somewhere. You've got to think about it. That's your creativity, right?
I know for me, when the to-do list is long, something that I do is I step back, take a breath, and I just ask myself, what is the one thing I can do now? And invariably that thing pops up in my head. All right, go do that thing. If it comes to it, I've done it, and I'm going, what do I do now? What is the one thing I can do now? And that's just a lovely reset question that helps me to just refocus on what's important, what needs to be done.
That clarity, that taking that moment or doing that exercise, it's that clarity where the answers are, as you've just said.
Indeed.
The answers are always behind just those quiet
simple
moments.
Questions. Take the moment.
So, the 3 takeaways.
3 takeaways. Tap into your purpose. Why are you doing this thing? Reset, because potentially in this burnout piece, you've lost sight of it. Or you've let it sit behind here and you haven't revisited it. So jump it back into that. Reset it, revisit it, and just take the practice of jumping into it and reflecting on it.
Get yourself on purpose. Why are you there? And secondly, build the rhythms.
We're
big fans of we're creatures of habit. So that rhythm each day. And hey, if you're not a creature of habit, maybe you've got to do something different each day, but work out what that rhythm is.
What's your rhythm? And everybody's
different.
Your
rhythm is being in rhythm, or you're getting, you're feeling better.
Creative
by being
flow.
Out of rhythm. Work out self-awareness. Work out which one you are, and get that happening.
And the third one, I'm going to refer to my little book here, is, well, are there areas of the business that you can have other people do them for you? Can you outsource? Can you delegate? Now, a lot of people say, well, I'm new in this business, etc. Money's an issue. Well, my response is, if you can replace that with income producing activities and productive activities, well, maybe it's not your skill set. Maybe it's the thing that grinds you and it's not enjoyable, so you put it off. Who can do this for you?
And if you're in a phase of business where it's just simply not possible to outsource some of those jobs, tasks, work, then start to work out how important that task is, and even though you're not enjoying it, how it's contributing to your overall purpose, your overall why, and that could be within the business or in the greater good as you as a human. How is that little mundane, terrible little thing that's really eaten away at you? How is that contributing to the greater thing? And I'm sure if you really look at that, and if you are, enlarge on purpose, you'll be able to get through that and probably whistle while you work.